iHeartRadio, JoePags.com, also Newsmax TV, The Joe Pags Show. Glad to have you along for the ride. I'm really glad to have back the media director from over at CampusReform.org. It's Calbot Phillips. Calbot, how are you?
Doing well. Happy to be on.
Yeah, really glad to have you back. CampusReform.org. I go there every morning. You need to go there as well. Find out the great stories these young journalists are putting together. It's going to blow your mind, the nuttiness that's on campus. I want to jump right into it. Before we get to any of the topics that we already have set up, which are all great, I have to know, any feedback, and it's only a day old, but any feedback on Anthony Kennedy stepping down? Are college campuses melting down over this? I know immediately the left freaked out. Gay marriage is going away, and abortions will become illegal tomorrow.
I was actually on campus this morning at New York University talking to students about 4th of July coming up. I was asking them if they're proud to be an American. And student after student told me how scared they were about the future of America because of the Supreme Court setting that was going on. They said it's going to be chaos in the streets. They said we're basically going to devolve into Nazi Germany now that we have these new Supreme Court justices coming in. And they said if Trump has his way in picking Supreme Courts, I won't have any rights to my body and all of my rights will be taken away from me. So there was hysteria on campus today in the group of students that I talked to. I imagine it's that way around the country.
I figured that you probably would have been right in the thick of that. So it was a 4th of July piece. Are you proud of your country? I can't even imagine what they were saying there. But Cabot, why do they always default to I'm scared, I'm a victim, it's unsafe? What is that something that professors have indoctrinated them with? If you play the victim, people will be less apt to go after you? I
think that's where it starts is we have rewarded oppression. We've created sort of a hierarchy of oppression where students try to climb up the hierarchy. And they're taught and conditioned from a young age that the more things they can claim oppression to, the more things they can claim offense to, the better off they will be in society, because they look around at the people who are oppressed and they get special treatment. They get coddled, they get, whether it's government assistance or social assistance, they're told that they are special because they are oppressed by all of these things. And so if you're an average 18 or 19-year-old kid, it only makes sense that you're going to want to say that everything in the world is oppressing you and everyone is a construct designed to hold you back, because you are taught that that's where you find your value. You're taught that that makes you an inherently better person the more people you have that are trying to hold you back. I think that's where it comes from, among other things.
It is so weird. Calbot Phillips, media director over at CampusReform.org. Go there. Incredible reporting. There's a university that's offering a safe space to fix masculinity. I thought masculinity was just a thing. I didn't know that it was an ailment. How do you fix it?
Well, one of the most common things I hear on campus is that they're fighting back against the patriarchy, the male patriarchy that's trying to take over the country. And so, yeah, this university, the University of Redlands, they are offering a course that's a safe space for men to come in and to examine all of the faults with masculinity in society. And so they blame much of society's problems, whether it's, sexual assault, whether it's the economy doing poorly. They find a way to tie that into men and their arrogance and pride and holding women back from the workforce. And all of these things, basically trashing men about all the things they do wrong.
What
and they
do
say,
they
we're going
want?
to help you fix it. We're going to help you.
Well, Cabot, what do they want?
Well,
do they want men extinguished? I mean, do they want to kill us all? What do they want?
Essentially, they want men to no longer be men. They want men to be weak. They want men to bow down in every circumstance. They want men to not be assertive. They want men to not be strong. And I think rather than talking about all the things that men do poorly, of course there are men that mess up. Every man has some fault of some kind.
Yes.
But why not hold up examples of men doing the right thing?
Except you and me. Come on. Let's be honest.
Yes, good example, of course. But why don't we say, hey, here's the qualities that a man should have. Let's live up to these. Let's emulate these qualities.
Yeah.
And that's what a man is about. Instead of just saying, oh, all men are bad. Let's throw them back and let's let the matriarchy rise up and point at the patriarchy. I think we focus far too much on gender on college campuses.
It's so weird. It's Calbot Phillips. We always appreciate the time. California moving closer to mandating on-campus abortion services. So if you go to school somewhere and you're learning a trade or you're learning a profession or you're learning to get your doctorate or your master, whatever the hell you're doing, why would we have to, is this a public university, taxpayer funded? Why would we have to offer abortions? I'm not sure I understand.
The university or the system, the UC system, is claiming that no taxpayer money will go towards this because it would be illegal to have taxpayer money go towards abortions, apparently, though I'm sure that they would find a way. They're claiming that all this money is coming from donors that would subsidize the abortions on campus. But anytime the government gets involved, I think people are and should be weary of where that money is coming from. But essentially, the service starting in 2022 would offer students on-campus abortion pills for the first 10 weeks of their pregnancy. They could go to their University of California, if it UC system, they could go to the health center on campus. They could get an abortion pill subsidized by the state, and it would be, free of charge to the students. And it's wrong for the university to be taking a step towards endorsing. This is a controversial issue, obviously.
Yeah.
And for the university to step in and essentially say, yeah, we're okay with free abortions on campus, it is disgraceful, and it's something that should concern every California taxpayer and really every American, because this is going to come to other campuses.
By the way, suggesting that it would be paid by outside money, that frees up taxpayer money to do something else at the college that they would have had to use. But it's fungible. It's like Planned Parenthood saying,
Yep.
oh, no, we don't use any of that $500 million we get a year from taxpayers on abortion services, although they perform over 300,000 abortions a year, and it's a huge profit center. It's a lie. You really can't follow the money. If there's more money available, that allows them to do more things with the money they were supposed to be using for these things. Yeah. So, yeah, the whole thing is just, it's bunk, and you're right. No state university system subsidized by taxpayers should be involved in this. A professor blasts racist media for calling Sonia Sotomayor, who is a Supreme Court justice, passionate. What race or how is it racism to say you're passionate?
Well, this is a professor at UPenn, one of our supposedly finer institutions in the entire country, who has blasted this, and she was saying that the way the media was covering Sotomayor, calling her passionate, apparently is a racist microaggression used against women of color, because anytime that they are outspoken against an issue, it's viewed as them being overly passionate or out of control. And it kind of leaves you to wonder, what words are we allowed to use? Because I was always taught that passionate is a good word. It's a compliment to show that someone has passion about an issue. But this professor was claiming that it's a racist microaggression, which you can kind of throw in. Honestly, at this point, the list of words you're allowed to use is a lot smaller than the ones you're not allowed to use. It's a growing list of microaggressions.
I'm 51. I've never ever used passionate as a pejorative. Never. I've never said what a passionate murderer. I mean, I've never done that. So it's so weird to me. I mean, you're right though. And by the way, you would be yelled at for your toxic masculinity had you said it. But maybe get a woman who works at Campus Reform and have them ask these professors, can you please explain how that's a negative? Again, you can't ask it because of your gender. The whole thing is nutty. If the left said that she's passionate, that would be a compliment. The right says it, or anybody says it, then suddenly it actually does dawn on me that this is the same week where we had Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi basically called racists because they dared say that Maxine Waters went too far. That's somehow racist. If you say Maxine Waters shouldn't suggest we should all go push back and harass people because of their politics, you're a racist.
Yeah, and it's a technique that's used everywhere, really, especially on college campuses, too. It's where we see this, because that's kind of the argument ender. If you're losing an argument, all you have to do is claim racism, whether it's legitimate or not, and people know if I accuse someone of racism, they're going to be quiet because no one wants to be accused of that. It could be a career-ending accusation to make against someone. And also, the danger in that is it waters down actual cases of racism. It's the boy who cried wolf, where if you're constantly saying everything is racism, it makes it harder for you to actually call out people and instances that really are, which is extra sad because it makes it harder for you to identify real racist acts and when you're watering every single word that someone says down.
That is so smart, because you're right. There is real racism on all ends, and we should identify it. We should snuff it out, but you can't if there's always this cloud in the middle pretending that something's racist when it's not. It's Calbot Phillips, the media director over at campusreform.org. Go to that website like I do every morning and see the incredible reporting from these young journalists. Texas College no longer promises freedom of thought. Now, you've said this before. I'm kind of dumb. But when I think, how does the college have any idea what it is I'm thinking? What does this even mean?
Well, the university, they had this on their website. There was a student that had run for student government, and he said that he was kicked out because of the fact that he was conservative. He came to us at Campus Reform with some evidence, including a web page where the university detailed students' freedom of thought and freedom of speech sounding incredibly restrictive. So we reached out to the university to ask them about it, and don't you know, that page now no longer exists on their website.
Wow.
And they think that they think that, oh, they're covering their tracks. No one knows about it. We have the proof that it was there. And really, the school has gotten to the point where they no longer are policing what's being said on campus or in the classroom. They now want it to go all the way up to what people are thinking. And they've been doing this for a while in little more subtle ways where professors are trying to teach people how to think, what to think, and they're trying to teach people which ideas are acceptable and unacceptable. So this starts at a very early age, but it seems the school kind of slipped up on this one and unintentionally let out their true motivations.
Cabot, in what world is that not brainwashing?
Not the one we're living in. It's absolutely what it is.
Right.
But they would not view it as brainwashing. They would view it as compassion because they are helping these students see the light. They're helping give them, tolerant ideas. They're helping them understand the truth, which I think many of these college professors are not understanding their role, and they think that their role gives them license to tell students how to think and what to think, and not teaching them how to learn, how to process different ideas. And this is especially disconcerting because if anywhere in America you should be concerning students, or you should be encouraging people to push out ideas that may be controversial, it should be a place like a college campus. That should be the #1 marketplace of ideas in society. And when you are discouraging freedom of thought, discouraging freedom of speech, you are acting in contrary nature to the very point of college.
Well, keep in mind, you used the word compassion. It was almost passionate. If you do say passionate, that could be racist. So be very, very careful how you use those.
You caught me.
They sounded very similar. I want you to be careful because you're too masculine too. That screws everything up. All right, Calbot Phillips, he's the media director over at campusreform.org. Go there every single day. Read these incredible articles that these great journalists do. Calbot, thanks a million.
Of course, happy to be on, Joe. Thank you much.
Back after this on the Joe Pag Show. Stay right here.